Hello there, and welcome to episode 7 of the How Uncivilized Podcast. Last week we concluded our discussion of Saw Gerrera, so this week it seems fitting that we turn to our other Jedha-dwelling rogues, Chirrut Îmwe and Baze Malbus. Strap in for a hefty dumping of info, as well as a special new format that we really hope doesn't get old after the first 5 minutes. Just sit back and try to enjoy.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Boomy boom boom.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
And welcome to the next episode of the How Uncivilized Podcast. And this week, we are talking about Chirrut and
Baze.
Yes.
Yeah. We're so
the
in sync.
formidable duo.
That definitely
we are
wasn't
so in sync.
rehearsed.
I love it when we finish each other's
Words.
Yes. Goodness, it's good to be back.
It's good to be back. It's good to hear from you again, Spencer. Always nice to have a catch up.
Indeed it is. A catch up over ketchup.
It's all very saucy.
It is very saucy indeed.
Indeed,
but stay away from the seafood sauce.
Absolutely.
It's not worth your time. It really isn't.
I mean, has anyone ever had a good experience eating seafood? I mean, I certainly haven't, and I can't imagine anyone else has.
No. I honestly can't imagine. Le fruit de la mer. Yes,
Very
indeed.
nice.
So, thank you. I'm here all week.
I mean, where else would you be? There's nowhere to go.
There's nothing left.
What tier are you in? Are you tier 1 still?
Yeah, I think I'm tier 1 here. Yeah,
we're in T2 here.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't you find it weird that tier 1 is medium alert?
Yes,
like it's medium.
That's very.
And then tier 2 is high, and then tier 3 is very high.
Yes, it feels like the tier should start at 3 because surely tier 1 would be everything's fine.
Yeah, exactly. What are we to expect that there's a tier 0?
I don't know. I mean, I hope there is. Can't live in tier 1 forever. Hopefully we'll be in tier 2 for much longer.
Yeah, hopefully your area will just balance out soon. You can go back to tier 1.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't like meeting indoors and going to the pub indoors? I'm actually not sure what tier 2 rules really restrict. Can you still go to the pub?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, yes. It's
good to know that this communication has been put out and presented in a way that we can all understand.
I think you can't meet indoors unless it's in a pub, I think.
Oh, that's good.
And then tier 3 is when you can't even mix. You can still go to the pub, but you can't mix with people from outside your house. And in that case, why would you bother going to the pub?
Yeah, like you got your own personal pub.
Yeah.
You know, you can just whack open the fridge, crack open a fresh, cold tinny.
You can go to the public house, but avoid the public. Well, go to your house then.
Exactly. No point getting out there in the deep, dark depths of COVID-19 mischief.
No, of course not. Stay safe, stay home.
And in the words of C-3PO...
We're doomed.
And that's a good way to introduce our special toy for this week.
Yes, so this week we're gonna try using a little Star Wars soundboard to just spice it up a bit, include a few more interesting tidbits. Yeah, really just sort of throw you off when you're listening to some interesting facts.
A few sound bites from the Star Wars saga and beyond.
Oh,
well, not beyond.
exactly.
They are specifically Star Wars related.
Indeed.
Yes.
But Charlie, one thing I would say.
Don't get technical with me.
So,
Oh wow, this is already going to be the best episode ever. I can feel it in my bones.
oh dear, if it will ever end. Do you know how many of these sound bites I have?
I dread to think.
Like I started scrolling when I started speaking to you, and I'm still scrolling.
Oh,
so that's how many.
no.
Yeah.
Have they just quoted the whole film?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
That's not a.
ooh,
was
there's
that?
a little. That was me going out of the soundboard and then back in.
Ooh.
So it makes a different sound every time you go in.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, one thing you also get as well as quotes is sound effects.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can get a porg sound effect. Let's hear it. I can't remember what they sound
Let's go for it.
Wow. That just sounds like
That's amazing. That's so good.
But yeah, anyway, like tying this back to to the real grit
Oh
and
god, it's gonna be a
Facts of
nightmare.
But yeah, basically this episode is I believe it's episode 5 of series 2 now.
You'd be wrong there. It's
am I
actually
wrong?
episode 7 now.
Are you joking? We've
I'm
got to
not
episode
joking.
7.
This is episode
Wow.
7 now.
Goodness, we are getting far. We are getting far along.
We are.
Thing is, like, I know we've done that amount of episodes, but I just didn't think that we were on episode 7. It just feels
I know. I
so
was thinking
far
that.
in.
We've been releasing them every week. So at this point, at time of recording, we're 6 weeks in to the new series.
Yeah, damn.
I remember
Damn,
it
I'm
felt like
impressed.
ages we were building up to this series, and now it's thoroughly in full swing. It's not a new series anymore. It's just a series.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, really. But here we are, in amongst our second series. Who'd have thought? 7 episodes in.
Who'd have thought all the way back in March we would, in October, be doing our second series of podcast? That's a crazy
Yeah, it is
thought.
crazy to think that we've got that far.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome to episode 7, as I've been rightly corrected. And as mentioned earlier, this one's on the famed Guardians of the Wills,
Yeah.
Chirrut, Îmwe, and Baze Malbus.
Absolutely. I can't wait. 2 of my favorite characters from Rogue One. I feel like that's going to be a recurring theme at the start of these episodes, is just so-and-so and so-and-so. Ah, my favorite characters.
They are truly my favorite. I know I said it last time, but this time I really mean it.
This week, I really mean it when I say these guys or gals are the best.
They are the shit.
If I would quantify it, I would quantify it as the shit.
So we're doing the format of the podcast a bit differently. So we are recording 2 episodes in one, as per usual.
As the
But
usual.
this time we're going to take a different approach. So instead of doing a question each and going through our various little bits of info and going back and forth, we're going to have one speaker for each episode and one listener, one keen, thinking, accompanying speaker. But yeah,
Listener, yeah, you've already messed it up with your adjectives.
I know, I ruined it. I went into full Boris Johnson.
But you just said the opposite of what you initially said.
It all
This
makes
guy
sense.
should be the leader of a country.
So yeah, we're just coming into tier 3 of episode 7.1 of set. No, anyway.
Triggered.
But yeah, so the first episode is going to consist of me going through my questions and answering them, and then the second one is Charlie going through his.
Yeah.
Supposedly, so that should be intriguing. But we can't wait to get started and crack on with the 2 most intriguing little characters in the whole of Star Wars.
Can't wait. Let's see how this new format's going to go. Let's hope it's not
Indeed.
a complete train wreck.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine, right? It'll be
Yeah.
fine. Everything's going to be fine.
It'll be
Hopefully.
fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm gonna kick off with Charlie's first question for me, which is this is his question 1 for me. Chirrut Îmwe is a saint. Tell me about him.
Please do.
And yeah, I will tell you all about Chirrut Îmwe.
Excellent.
Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Very good. Thank you, Chirrut. For your,
Nice.
for your little addition there. It's good to have you in the studio. So Chirrut was born on the moon of Jedha in 52 BBY. So as you keen-eyed observers out there who have been following the podcast and or know about Star Wars lore, know that BBY stands for Before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, we need to say that every episode because I forget in between.
I feel like I forget too. Yeah. But hopefully there are some keen listeners out there that actually know what it's about.
Like
and,
you say B, you say another B, and I immediately think, the robot. And we need to remind people that no, not the robot. The dating system.
I feel like when it comes to information, clarity is everything.
Absolutely.
You don't want to miss out any parts of the information. You want to give them everything. You don't want anyone sitting there getting really confused, getting really frustrated.
Yeah, the important thing is to have clarity and with your communication. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And now we're just going to move into tier 2. So
stop.
So he was a member of the Guardians of the Wills, which was a spiritual warrior monk clan. Mm-hmm. And I will come on to them a bit later. So I'll fill you in on them.
Excellent.
When Saw Gerrera arrived on Jedha, they met a Twi'lek called Baze Fortuna. Now, do you recognize that name, Charlie?
No. Should I?
Well, any kind of intense Star Wars fan will know that the last name, it's from a well-known Twi'lek family called the Fortunas. One particular Fortuna, called Bib Fortuna, worked for Jabba the Hutt.
Ah.
Yeah. So Baze Fortuna is the cousin of Bib Fortuna. And Bib Fortuna was Jabba's butler or bitch or, basically, I was reading up on it and they're actually called, the actual name for his role, so to speak, it's called a major domo or major domo.
That sounds like a Star Wars curse term. I'm not gonna lie.
It does, doesn't it? You might not have heard it. And a major domo or major domo was a chief steward of a large household. But interestingly enough, in his role, so what he had to do was sweet talk people into liking Jabba, essentially. But
he did a great job. That was a tough job, and he did
absolutely nailed it
really well there.
But in his role, he actually has no power or any rights. So he's essentially it's weird. He's essentially like a slave almost, especially majordomos that worked for crime lords.
But he looked like he was having so much fun.
Well, he did. But apparently, on average, their tenure is quite low. Apparently, they only tend to sort of work for them for a few months before getting early retirement, so to speak.
Oh, boy.
But actually, if you look at the history of Bib Fortuna and Jabba the Hutt, in episode 1, Bib Fortuna's working for Jabba the Hutt, and then we're in episode 6, and he's still there. So, I mean, the guy obviously knew his way around Jabba and knew how to sweet talk him. I mean, I can only imagine that he did a very, very good job and was kept in gainful employment. Well, probably not gainful. I don't know what he gained.
I mean, he gained not being dead. That's always pretty good.
Yeah. No death. I assume food. Who knows? But yeah, so Baze Fortuna worked for Saw Gerrera. Yeah, so he introduced Chirrut and Baze to Saw Gerrera. And then they started a partnership. They worked together for a time. And
so they actually knew Saw Gerrera before Rogue One?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So I'll go into that again in a little bit as well.
Can't wait.
So just to clear everything up, in terms of Chirrut and his abilities. So he didn't actually have any Force abilities to speak of.
Okay.
But he was incredibly spiritual and followed the Force.
It's like everyone's worst friend. It's like,
exactly.
I consider myself to be spiritual. It's like, just pick a side.
Oh dear, yeah, it cracks me up. But yeah, he followed the Force and the Jedi way, so he really embraced that and took it on quite wholeheartedly. He was a master of a Jedha-based martial art called Zamashiwo.
Okay.
Again, I'll go into that in a bit.
Is that like wax
well.
on, wax off, or is it?
Pretty much. I mean,
It's all the
as I
same.
say, it's all the same stuff. I mean, it's pretty much kung fu what he's doing. If we're talking about the actual interpretation of his style, he's actually performing a form of Chinese martial art, which could be akin to kung fu and actually Wing Chun kung fu, I think, in particular. But anyway, moving on. So anyway, he ended up following Jyn Erso, our protagonist, in Rogue One.
You creepy guy, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
She's way too young for you. Back off.
Yeah, you creepy bastard. Hey, do you like Kyber? A heart of Kyber shines real bright, doesn't it, Missy? Come here. I'll show you a good time.
Do you have a heart of Kyber? Because you are dazzling.
You're absolutely lovely.
Gorgeous.
But yeah, so he followed Jyn and Cassian. Mm-hmm. Or, for another interpretation, he ended up with them through the will of the Force, which is probably a dual interpretation. He followed them, and it was the will of the Force, and whatever. Because actually, to begin with, I don't think they intended on following them. He actually he steps in, doesn't he, Chirrut, and protects Jyn. You know, he says, "Let them pass."
Yeah,
let them pass in peace.
In that great fight scene where he just attacks all those stormtroopers, and it's like, I can tell I'm gonna like this guy.
Yeah, I mean. Honestly, he was honestly the star of the show in Rogue One in terms of like the combat. Yeah. Definitely him and Darth Vader's scene. That scene of Darth Vader's scene was just incredible.
So good. So nice.
What doesn't he make a quip during the fight and says something like well, like don't trip or something?
It's something like he whacks a stormtrooper in the foot and then says, "Is your foot all right?"
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's so quip heavy.
So
I love
good.
it. I actually really love it.
Just what a great introduction to a character we had a brief conversation with him, but then it was this guy. He's clearly so proficient in a martial art, and yet also you get his humor coming through as well. And we just know exactly who this guy is in that short fight scene.
Yeah, it's full character building, isn't it? I mean, you see him and you just... Obviously, they build the context of him by him and Jyn meeting beforehand. Mm-hmm. And then, they really just build him up. And then suddenly it's just an instant... Yeah, build me up, Buttercup, indeid. But then there's this instant climactic moment where he goes from this old man tapping this stick like a blind beggar to this just insane...
Come on. He's 52. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. He's not that old, but
I'm sure your dad would have, would disagree with the term old man.
Oh my God. I'm sure he would, but he would be wrong. Anyway.
No respect indeed.
Oh, who needs respect for our elders? They'll be gone soon, doesn't matter.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Gosh.
In the words of the man himself.
I fear nothing.
Oh, he's still talking. Wait, I want to hear that one again. I don't know what he said at the end.
I fear nothing.
Pause.
All is as the Force wills it.
Oh, nice.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Oh, pretty good.
I fear nothing, even in spite of my older age.
Exactly. Oh dear. Wait, there's a highlighted one. It says DJ, and then the quote is blip, bloppity bloop. I'm gonna have to play this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to.
Let's go.
Blappity bloop,
Oh, okay. Well, that was kind of boring.
Oh. It's just...
What is that?
It's the character DJ in The Last Jedi just being like blip, blop, bloop. I can't remember what the context for that was, but clearly at some point he said those words.
Well, apparently he did. I'm glad we were filled in. That was...
I'm so glad we listened to that. I would have really missed out had we not had that moment in the podcast.
So glad it's there. Oh, in there for all to hear.
Yes.
Forever and ever.
Oh, man.
Let's go back to the subject matter at hand, though.
Rogue? Rogue One.
Oh, my word, that pause in between.
They really, bare minimum effort, did not cut out that pause at all.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, I know how that's how it appears in the film, but like, come on. Just, I mean, if there are hundreds of them, I guess it would take time to do that, but also, come on. Just like...
Yeah. Oh,
that pause just leaves me in suspense for
it really
what feels
does,
like
doesn't it?
an hour.
Yeah, it keeps you thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just too long. It's just too long a pause without all the added music and effect and that feeling. It just feels wrong. Just like you say, just cut it out. We don't need it. But yeah, Chirrut basically followed Jin into battle and eventually died from the injury sustained, basically trying to save the rebellion. So...
One could argue he did save the rebellion because he was able to open the, the comms link to send out that signal.
Oh, he definitely did. No, I'm definitely not disputing that.
I mean, you could argue that all of them saved the day, but, you know, he did have a key role in doing that action of sending out that signal.
Like, if he wasn't there, like, if that didn't happen, then nothing else would happen. So, I mean, he was really, really, you know, quite important in the
grand scheme of things.
The grand scheme. But yeah, shame about that. He's actually a really lovely character, but then just gets shot to shit.
You win some, you lose some.
Well, what can you do?
What is a man to do?
What is a man to do? Now, Charlie, I have some information on Baze. Do you want me to go through some of my stuff on Baze, or
you can give us a brief overview of Baze to dip our toe? But, you know, not too much, just a little bit, just a little sprinkle for seasoning, you know?
Well, indeed. Let's
say every other word, and we'll try and put together afterwards what you actually meant.
You can fill it in. It'll be like an audio crossword.
You have to listen to both episodes simultaneously and cross-cut between the two to get the full experience. That feels like a lot of work for me in the next episode.
Yeah, good luck. I'm sure you're making all this work for yourself. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No. This is, you know, a bare minimum effort podcast. We don't put any effort in here at How Uncivilized.
No, we don't. We just turn up and that's that.
Yeah. I've done no research for any of the episodes at all. I just say things which sound like they're probably correct. And to be honest, I don't see you correcting me anytime soon, and I don't see the listeners correcting me anytime soon. So
no, because what else is there out there except our word?
Yeah.
And our word is vital. It is the only information that you need.
Is the law, and that's law spelt Lore.
Wowza! Look at him go. That was incredible.
Can I get a patoo sound? Is that something I can get?
Oh wait, yeah, it is. You want one of those? You get one of those. Hey, what kind of patoo sound do you want?
Oh, there's more than one? Yeah,
do you like that one? Is that the one? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nope.
You can also get Baze's cannon.
Okay.
Do you want to hear that one?
Yes. That's it. That's the one.
That's the budget.
That perfectly sums up the quality of that joke.
Oh. Well, that was well worth it. So yeah. Anyway, so I'll just fill you in on a bit of Baze.
There are no Jedi here anymore. Only dreamers like this fool.
So it's good to have you in the studio, Mr. Malbus.
Good to have you here. I'm glad to see that Yang Wen is with us today in the studio and has nothing better to do.
So what first got you interested in this role?
There are no Jedi here anymore. Only dreamers like this fool.
Okay, and
that's not a very nice thing to say about Gareth Edwards.
It's all. And what was the audition process like?
There are no Jedi here anymore. Only dreamers like this fool.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, and is there anything else you want to just add? Just to that there are people listening to this podcast who really want to know your experience.
There are no Jedi here anymore.
Yeah.
Only dreamers like this fool.
Okay, well, it's been great having you on.
Awesome.
So
we'll send you your
time.
check in the post.
Anyway, moving on. This is getting out of hand. Baze was also born on Jedha. Interesting enough, Jedha is a desert moon which orbits the planet Jedha in the Jedha system.
What?
Yeah.
Do they not have any other names of things?
Yeah, it's hilarious. The city in Jedha is called Jedha.
Yeah.
The planet from the moon Jedha is called Jedha. So I mean, they're really, really inventive, aren't they?
Well, we got Jedha. That's really great. That's a great word. But let's just not change that. Let's just add to it. I feel like that would be much simpler for everyone on Jedha.
Oh, exactly. So he was also a member of the Guardians of the Wills until he lost his faith. But I'll go into that in a bit as well.
Can't wait.
That's another question from Charlie's mouth.
From my oral hole.
Yeah.
Oh
from
God, that's horrible.
That is some kinky stuff.
That's a disgusting way to put it.
So yeah, he basically he lost his way, and I think he became an assassin. Which is quite interesting. But yeah, anyway, he joined the partisans with Chirrut when Baze approached. So they were joined. There's a whole story from them basically joining and what led to their eventual, let's say, dismissal from the group. I feel like that's...
Let's not go into that now. How about I give you that in a future episode?
Indeed,
yes.
I will gladly, yes, please do.
Gladly push that one to the next episode. Like J.J. Abrams writing a Star Wars movie. Let's just give that to the next episode.
Exactly. But let's have another one of those there. Let's, what do we got? Ooh.
Wow,
no,
that went on for a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
I wonder what a stormtrooper blast is like. That's quite a heavy blast.
Yeah.
But
I was expecting someone to be like, you missed.
Hey, what you doing there, you idiot?
I'm over here.
But yeah, so Baze ended up taking on a whole squad of Imperial death troopers after his friend Chirrut was brutally murdered, resulting in his own unfortunate and untimely death.
Yes. No, I mean, not that Chirrut was dead or that he died, but so good that he was just like, shooting stuff. Cool.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm a teenage boy, and people shooting stuff in a cool way appeals to me. I'm not a teenage boy now, and I wasn't a teenage boy then, so I don't know why I said. Actually, yes, I was. I was 19.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was 19.
You young boy.
Where did that go? Oh dear.
Went way too quickly, and now we've got one foot in a grave.
No. Yeah, I was 19. Oh God. Well, that can't be right.
Yeah,
but it is
2016 is when Rogue One came out. That's 4 years ago.
God, that's horrible.
Crazy to think.
Time hath withered my luscious face.
I know. What happened? But yeah, so that's really all I can fill you in terms of Baze. I'm sure, Charlie, you have a few other special tidbits that you would like to share a bit later on. And so that sort of ends my first question there and a bit of background.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move on to the second one you gave me, Charles.
Go for it.
Which is, Are you kidding me? I'm blind. Might be the best line in the film.
Do you actually have the line on your soundboard?
Do you know what? I was gonna have a look actually. Let's see.
Let's see.
Choo choo choo.
Come on and join the Jedi.
Choo choo choo. The Jedi is a thing.
Chirrut, Îmwe's blind.
Oh, it made
Ooh.
a sound. Ooh. Let's see. Well, no.
Is that the remix?
Wow, this app makes a lot of sound. But no, I don't have that quote. But
What?
Yeah, I know.
Of all the things it has, it doesn't have, are you kidding me? I'm blind.
I know. I definitely thought that. Oh, actually, hold on.
Hold on.
Hold it.
Holdo.
No. We don't
no.
have it. But do you know what? Instead, I'm going to give you something else.
Impression.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I'm blind. There you go. That's my best
Nice.
impression.
That was solid.
There you go.
That was solid.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So it gives you what? Oh my word! Sorry, I just came across on the list like that. There's a quote from a guy called Sleazebag Arno. Do you know who he is?
Is he the guy from Who Wants to Sell Death Sticks?
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Yes,
much,
yes,
yeah.
he is. Oh.
But his actual name's Sleazebag Arno. that is a very
Well, he lives up to his name, I guess. Gotta give the guy credit for that.
You certainly do. But yeah, anyway,
His parents were not optimistic for his future.
they most certainly were not. He was born into a life of crime, and boy, did he stay in one. Oh dear. But yeah, so I'm going to move on to the second question now. Yeah, so as I've said, just to give you an idea of his background a bit more, and the fact that he's blind, and the effect
Yeah.
of the Guardians, and that, I'm going to go into the Guardians of the Wills a bit, and sort of fill us in on that, and
Nice.
throw a few other quotes your way. So I'm just going to fill you in on
excellent.
that. So it should be an intriguing one. So the Guardians of the Wills, they were a religious order separate from the Jedi Order, but they were actually known to them. So the Jedi Order knew of the Guardians of the Wills. They were located on the moon of Jedha and defended the Temple of the Kyber from people there to try and steal from there or attack it. Though saying that, they did help pilgrims who wished to visit the temple for learning and, going on a pilgrimage, people who followed the ways of the Force, and they would defend them while they stayed in the temple.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so quite a quite a
Almost
nice job.
like you're under my roof, so I'll look after you kind of attitude.
Yeah, exactly. They were quite kindly and gentle souls.
Yeah.
That only wish, they loved it if you were there to experience the temple in its fullness, and would give all the help that you required. But if you were there to attack, they would beat the shit out of you.
We're all friends here, except for those guys over there. They will kill you.
You will die. As part of spiritual progression amongst the Guardians of the Wills, a Guardian would construct something called a light bow. Now, Chirrut uses one of these in
does indeed.
Rogue One. You see him quite prominently using it when he is destroying TIE fighters on the complex where is it? I've completely forgotten now. What's that
I think
planet
you'll
called?
find it's Edu.
Edu, yeah, of course it's Edu. How could I forget? So yeah, on Edu.
Edu forget these things sometimes. Whoa.
Edu indeed, Governor.
Patew.
If only we had that on special effects for you. Let's see. Wow, isn't
Yes,
he good?
nice. Over to Spencer with the soundboard. I feel like it's almost like us having a late night show, and then there's the person in the corner who's like the musician, except it's not a musician. It's just you with a soundboard.
Exactly. That's me with the soundboard.
Oh man.
Oh dear. Yeah, me with the soundboard, and then this is you experiencing the soundboard.
Oh man. You got me. That's me to a T.
Your R2D2 being fried by Jawas.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
If only. I mean, still better than 2020. Put it that way.
Definitely.
Did I hear a little Jawa then?
Yeah. Whatever we mention gets a soundboard mention. That's how it works. Oh, don't you remember that time when lightsaber ignition?
Oh, nice.
So we're just subtly including the soundboard into the show.
Oh man, this show will never be the same ever again.
Do you know what? I don't think it'll ever be the same since Jabba laugh.
Oh man, he does not sound healthy.
Hey, is that the 7-Up guy? Crisp and clean.
No caffeine. I feel like I need to get this soundboard as well, because
yeah, you should get the soundboard for next episode.
Both of us can stop talking and we can just play the soundboard for 45 minutes.
We can just ring off the soundboard.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, this is what I say to that.
Roger, Roger.
Nice.
And right, I'm going to put that on pause a bit so we can actually continue.
Yeah. Let's
what we were aiming for.
Get back to our actual work here at How Uncivilized.
Indeed.
Oh, it made another sound.
There was another sound.
You cannot shut that thing up, can you?
Oh, it just goes off when it likes. Who cares anymore? Let's just stop talking and just do more soundboard
Remember
things.
me? I'm still here.
Oh dear. Anyway,
So Chirrut's blind.
yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, so he's blind. Oh dear, you gotta stop now, soundboard. This is getting too much. Yeah. Oh, I can't remember. Light bow, that was it. Yeah. So they craft a light bow to show their skill with handcraft, with crafting with their hands. And also technology. So they're up to date. These guys, they're very technologically minded.
So good.
Yeah. Again, to clarify, come on now, Charlie.
Let's not have a scene.
Come up. Nice. Man.
But yeah, so they just to clarify their force feelings. They sense the Force and its presence, but they didn't actually sort of read the Force and its will, so to speak. They were more into just sort of, they could see when it's there and they could sort of sense it, basically. They couldn't sort of feel it, take it in and interpret its will.
Like the free version of Microsoft Word where it's like fixed on read only and it's really annoying.
That's literally that's a good way of putting it, actually. Yeah. They're like free trial of the Force. Yeah. And then if you want to upgrade, you've got to pay $39.99 credits a month to the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
To experience the full Force package.
Yeah, they've just become experts at coming up with new email addresses for the trial period. Yeah.
Oh, it cracks me up. That's an impressive interpretation.
Oh, thank you.
So they actually they believed that both the light and the dark sides of the Force had value. So they believed in having that kind of the balance. They thought for the light to exist, there must be dark, and the Force must be balanced that way. That's their interpretation.
Yeah.
And so they had various prayers that they used throughout the day, regularly coming together to experience prayer. And one of their prayers was the sunset prayer, which I'm going to read out to you now, which is what they said at, you guessed it, sunset.
Morning. Oh, sorry. That's embarrassing.
Whoops. I don't even know why we have you on anymore, Charlie. I thought you were a Star Wars
struck
expert.
out and totally missed that one, you know. That's on me. That's my bad. I take full responsibility.
Oh, you fool.
Go on, read us this prayer. Get us all spiritual.
Yeah, so, they got quite spiritual. They had various prayers, and this was one of them, the sunset prayer. So, let's go for it. In darkness, cold. In light, cold. The old sun brings no heat, but there is heat in breath and life. In life, there is the Force. In the Force, there is life, and the Force is eternal.
Gosh, that's heavy stuff.
It is heavy stuff. And just think, as the sun sets over Jedha, or Na Jedha, or Ni Jedha, or We Jedha, or You Jedha, or Let's
Jedha, or Big Jedha, or
Small Jedha, or Happy Jedha, Sad Jedha. No.
Little ball of Jedha.
Some as big as your Jedha. You can imagine them getting together and doing that prayer and having their ways. Yeah, it's quite nice. I actually really like it.
Is it the kind of thing they would say together, or would it be like one person saying it up on a stage?
No, they'd all say it together. They'd all do the sunset prayer.
That's nice.
Yeah. So quite communal they were. Quite a nice community, and they all really sort of quite believed in the Force. And
it's
quite
the guardians of the wills, not the guardians of the eyes, you know?
Yeah. Or the guardians of the pills, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that's Sleazebag McGee, or whatever his name is.
Sleazebagano, I'll have you know.
There we go.
Oh dear, he'll always deserve an honourable mention.
Sleazebagano.
Our good friend.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Sleazebagano.
I wonder what he did. I wonder if he did go home and rethink his life.
I wonder if he did. I don't actually know how much power the Force. Do you reckon he suddenly went back and signed himself off, like up to the equivalent of like an open university course?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm changing my life around. You know, I'm gonna be a chemist, but not an exotic chemist, a real chemist.
Just going to some kind of Death Sticks Anonymous, the DSA. Yeah, it's like. You know, I used to sell death sticks just around the local bars on Coruscant, but then this guy came in and said I should rethink my life, and
you know what?
That was the first step for me.
The first step back. And now I'm a full-blown Jedi.
Yeah.
They'll literally take anyone nowadays.
I'm looking forward to seeing my daughter this weekend. No, that's dark. That's a bit... that's depressing.
Oof, grim.
You win some, you lose some.
You definitely lose
The
something.
thing he lost was custody. Oh dear.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Snap.
don't do a gun sound for that. That didn't land. You know, that's in bad taste.
I would never do a gun. I'd never do a gun sound for that. You know, I'm thinking more sort of.
Wow, that's a lot.
or maybe something like this to sort of to sum up his feelings.
Yeah. Oh. Was that like Yoda laughing?
Yeah, it was. I can't believe that's not a
man.
quote thing. Oh wait, hold on. There's got to be an interest. There's got to be one that. Nah. There's not one that matches that situation. I don't think.
No. There's
actually, no.
nothing to be said about this.
I take that back. There is a perfect one. Sleazebagano, you've lost custody.
Yes. Perfect.
Well, didn't that hit the nail on the head?
That was perfect. No notes.
As you can tell, this was perfectly planned.
Yes. What you don't realize is that How Uncivilized is actually scripted down to the the exact pauses between words.
Exactly. We don't mess around. And there's no editing. That's how crisp we are.
No, I've spent the past 3 years writing this script to get it sound so nuanced that it just sounds like people who have no idea what they're doing.
It's perfect. It's really hard to make it sound this improvised.
Yeah, it's
almost
genuine,
a skill.
You know, it's a lot of work to sound this down to earth.
It really is. It really is. You've got to work really hard to get to where we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so going on a bit more about the Wills. So I'll give you a little background into the Guardians of the Wills and where all that came from. So the Wills itself was an early version of what eventually became the Force.
Oh, that's like a behind-the-scenes kind of tidbit type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a little bit of this is what happened before. So I'll just read out a quote from George Lucas about that. So he said, "Originally, I was trying to have the story be told by someone else, an immortal being known as the Will. There was somebody watching this whole story and recording it, somebody probably wiser than the mortal players in the actual events. I eventually dropped this idea, and the concept behind the Wills turned into the Force. But the Wills became part of this massive amount of notes, quotes, background information that I used for the scripts. The stories were actually taken from the Journal of the Wills. And the Journal, and that's the end of the quote. But the Journal of the Wills was something that George Lucas cobbled together with all his information, stories, ideas.
Yeah.
And that was eventually put into the stories. I think that the people at LucasArts now, so the people who run it, like Kathleen Kennedy, linked to Disney, I think they have access to that. So all of his concept ideas for the whole...
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That if they were doing a Star Wars series, they would have access to all the information he has ever written about Star Wars.
You definitely would hope. And interestingly, another reference to the Wills. So in episode 3, so that's Return of the Sith, there was an unfilmed scene.
Excuse me, what? Return of the Sith?
Sorry, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge. Yes, I am familiar with that one. That one is familiar to me.
That's such a shame. Well.
Oh, God.
Fuck you.
That's not a Star Wars quote. Bet that's not on the soundboard.
Tell you what's on the soundboard.
Droid, please.
Oh, dear. But maybe this will wet your whistle.
Jedi scum.
See, you could translate that as almost him saying Jedha scum, so it's kind of relevant.
Yeah, pretty much is relevant.
Yeah.
So yeah, in going back to episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
There we go.
You little bitch. There was an unfilmed scene of Qui-Gon and Yoda speaking, and Yoda was speaking to Qui-Gon, who was a Force ghost.
Yeah.
And Qui-Gon was saying he learnt the secret of becoming a Force spirit from someone called a shaman of the Wills. So I imagine like a priest of that religion. And in another scene that was eventually cut as well, obviously all this was written by George Lucas himself, Yoda claims the secret to immortality was held by the ancient Order of the Wills. So again, referencing the Wills again as the actual reasons behind.
Yeah. George Lucas really wanted to get that into his story, but clearly could not find a space for it.
No, evidently. But then, interestingly enough, though, George Lucas has gone at this point, and they introduced the idea of Force Ghosts and where that came from to canon, and they basically got rid of that and decided to have Qui-Gon tell Yoda it was the wellspring of life. Was the source of immortality.
I mean, yeah, pretty much does what it says on the tin.
Yeah, exactly.
I would hope so.
that ticks a box, doesn't it? Instead of like the ancient order of the guardian of the spirits of the shamans of the wills. And
Yes, I went to the wellspring of life, and there, I just found this pub, and this guy told me how to be immortal. Yeah, it was unrelated to the well itself.
It was totally rad, dude. So oh dear. But yeah, so the temple of the Kyber, but it's also known as the Temple of the Wills, that temple was filled with Kyber crystal and spiritual places. There were actually tunnels that led to the temple underneath it, and in the tunnels there were over 2,000 statues that lined them. Mm-hmm. And they all had various different scenes, but the one that's mentioned is a Jedi battling a serpent-type creature.
Oh.
And these statues are thought to have been carved by the early Jedi.
Okay.
So it's actually, quite interesting.
Oh, man, that's really cool.
But this is mentioned in a story about when some people ended up going into the Temple of the Wills.
Yeah.
And they tried to loot the Temple of the Wills. So they were trying to... This is what you know at that point, that they've gone in there and they steal one of the statues. And one of the guys was quite proficient with a blaster. He was shooting the Guardians and basically taking them out. Eventually they bump into Chirrut. He basically says to them, this is one of the quotes, there are other ways to see than just with eyes. And that's what he says when they're there. When I think he says to them, like, oh, what are you going to do? You're blind. And he basically just goes. And then he basically instantly disarms them. Which is really cool. But yeah, he basically dueled them and won. But one of the guys basically told him that they were there to take the statue for clues about his parents' murder. So they thought he basically said there are nearly 2,304 statues in this temple. Like, you're not going to miss one of them. And based on their intentions, what they were trying to do, basically clear, I don't know, maybe clear his name or find out who killed his parents, Îmwe basically let them go with the statue, let them escape. So yeah, he's a nice enough guy. But I, if it were me, I don't think I'd let them go because they came in and they tried to these really.
I would kill them.
I'm not being funny. That's his job. To make sure that doesn't happen.
It was literally your one job.
Yeah, he's literally shirking his responsibilities. It doesn't matter. There's no clause saying, oh, but if they really, really need it, you can let them take it. That's not how it works.
There's no point where you consider their motive. That's not what you're being paid to do.
Exactly. So anyway, he let them go. Yeah, and hated himself ever since. No, he didn't really. But yeah, he basically, he of all the Guardians was the most dedicated one. Him and Baze were best friends.
BFFs.
Yeah, they were. Anyway, going back, did you have any questions about the Guardians of the Wills, Charlie? Anything you want to add, or?
No, you've pretty much covered all the bases, I would say. There is... No, I think you've covered all the bases. I thought I had a question coming, but no. I thought of a question, but then I suddenly realized that's a question you've asked and that I'm going to answer in the next episode. So,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Anyway, I thought I would basically, as I said earlier, go into Zama Shiwo, which is the
very nice
Jedha-based martial art. So yeah, it's a martial art from Jedha. It's actually known, so the direct translation of Zama Shiwo is the inward eye of the outward hand.
Okay.
Which is quite cool. So that's the study of that. So it allowed, the actual martial art itself, allowed practitioners to alter their heart rate and oxygen intake, giving them almost supernatural powers.
My heartbeat is really slow, and therefore I'm Superman.
I am Superman.
I feel like that doesn't actually follow, but keep going.
Take it. But Chirrut was a master of this martial art, like officially a master, not just like an expert. He was considered. He was an actual master,
not just a Sunday Zama
exactly.
practicer.
He had a title basically, and. He made use of it in his final moments so he wouldn't suffer while he was dying. So he basically used it to not feel any pain.
Oh, that's dark. I
Yeah.
can't make a joke about that. That's just kind of sad.
It's just so rough.
There's a
yeah.
line, and I'm going to stay this side of that line, because,
Yeah, I know. It's pretty freaking rough.
gosh.
But yeah, so he actually, he was asked for years by loads of people, actually, to teach them Zamashiwo. So there was someone called Steya, who was obsessed with martial arts and then met with Îmwe in the mornings, and they practiced Zamashiwo in front of the Temple of Kaiba. So all I'm thinking there is I'm getting a real sort of like, Karate Kid montage going there. Do you know what I mean?
That would be cool to see.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a bit of information on Zamashiwo, and obviously it was based on the sort of the Chinese martial arts, the ancient martial arts in China, like kung fu, stuff like that.
I don't know if this is like exactly true, but I feel like it's definitely something Donnie Yen would have contributed towards him himself being very, proficient in martial arts and stuff. It kind of has his designs all over it, or his style all over it, I would say.
Oh, definitely. I feel like this whole backstory behind the martial arts was actually created because of Donnie Yen.
Nice.
I'm sure of it because, obviously he brought that style in and they had to fill it out somehow.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that, I'll talk about this a bit more later because one of your questions is about him being blind and stuff. And it's essentially the idea for him being blind that came from Donnie Yen. That was actually his idea of, the character should be blind. And they were like, that's a really cool idea. Let's roll with that. So he actually had a big input into the actual design of the character, really.
Wow, I had no idea. That's really cool. It's good that they I like the idea. I like it when actors have a big influence on their characters because actually it makes the characters themselves more believable because the person acting them is invested and everything just feels better, doesn't it? When people get involved. Yeah. An actual tidbit from the original trilogy was that the original cast, obviously the script was a bit naff, but all the original cast were like quite experienced actors at that point, so put their own spin on it and basically said, no, I'm changing that line. So a lot of the script was altered, but obviously in the prequels, George Lucas was a bigger name then, and people were like, oh shit, we're working for George Lucas, we don't want to change anything. And so people just followed what he said to the letter, and it shows.
It's like his word was law, and they were like, let's not change a single detail.
Yeah, exactly. It's
we should have changed many details.
We definitely should. I'm just trying to find if I could. No, I can't.
I feel like I can just imagine that scene happening of George Lucas going up to Harrison Ford and saying like, "I want you to say this really random thing," and Harrison Ford just being like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that."
Yeah, exactly. Just slapping him into his place. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, okay, so that's the end of that martial arts section. So that brings me quite nicely onto question 3.
Question 3. Has it only been 2 questions? My goodness.
I know. I've really padded these out. Well, I only had 3 from you, so I thought I needed to pad it out.
You did. That makes me feel bad because I had 6 and barely put any effort into any of them.
Well, at least I'm here, putting in a shift this time, really.
Yeah, this is really your episode, You're really bringing it home. You brought a soundboard, you brought all the information. I am feeling quite intimidated right now. I've got a lot to live up to.
Around. You really do.
Yeah.
So, question 3 that you gave me was, why did Baze give up on being a Force Guardian? Mm-hmm. So, essentially, Baze Malbus lost his sense of spirituality, including his belief in the Force as a result of, I think it was enduring the harsh conditions of the Imperial occupation of Jedha. So, basically, the temple was seized by the Empire and he was kicked out of his home, left on the streets. Yeah, so he ended up developing a more pragmatic view, obviously becoming an assassin and doing a lot more sort of dirty stuff, not stuff that's not, considered becoming of a Guardian of the Wills.
How dare he?
That's
not what a Guardian does.
How rude. Oh, wait, we might have that, actually.
Oh, yeah, let's see. Let's find it. Let's go for it.
Wait. Actually, no, I don't think I do. Oh, that's a shame.
What?
Yeah.
It didn't have Are You Kidding Me? I'm Blind, and it doesn't have How Rude.
I know.
Like, what do they have? I'm very disappointed.
well, they have this.
I'm not, but it's...
They have this instead, which is a good enough substitute.
Well, that smells stinker-whiff.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Jar Jar.
It's the thing of, like, when I'm not watching the films, I think, oh, Jar Jar's great, really. But then whenever I watch the films, I'm like, oh, God, I hate him so much.
I know. It's so incredibly cringe.
Oh, it's awful. Oh, dear. Oh, no.
Dear.
Oh, man. What a time
Kills
to be
me
alive.
off. I know, it is a time to be alive.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes. So that kind of like ties up all my questions. I think I've answered that. But then I had a few interesting Chirrut and Baze factoids just to end.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Baze and Chirrut weren't in the original treatment for Rogue One. So they actually replaced a pair called Senna and Lunak, who were aliens in the early treatments of the story.
Okay.
Eventually, Lunak was scrapped, but Senna made it into the final cut as a mercenary called Moroff. And Moroff was a Gregorian male who had white fur and black eyes and appeared at the Battle of Scarif as a rebel reinforcement.
Huh.
So
That's cool. That's a
there
cool
you
little
go.
factoid.
Yeah. And that's me all done with your questions, Charles.
That's you. You're officially spent, sir.
Indeed.
Is that your sound of being done?
But interestingly enough...
We're not done yet.
Oh, no, wow, nice.
Oh,
That was good. I was on it. Like, that was quality.
but you know, in terms of me...
This party's over.
But
no, he's done it again. Oh, brilliant.
So now all we can say is...
Where's my boyfriend?
I mean,
that one didn't quite hit the...
I mean, can you stay focused for a little bit? I mean, you know, I'm sure you can go hang out with your boyfriend afterwards, but like for now, we still need to record another episode. Like, keep focused, man.
Well, in that case, if we're moving on to your questions...
The garbage will do!
Oh, wow. Ouch. That's horrible.
Oh,
that really hurt. That stung. That was rough.
Thanks for listening to episode 7. Hold on to your Jedi hats, as we'll be back next week for more on Rogue One's dynamic duo.
If you're looking to follow us on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. We're also on YouTube, where you can find all of our content, including every podcast episode so far, as well as our playthrough of LEGO Star Wars. The How Uncivilized Podcast was created, produced, and edited by Charlie, Gun Sound Effect Feasby, and Spencer, Irrelevant Noise Lawrence.